All right, you guys. So, secret sauce here today is becoming a goal getter. And the idea of becoming a goal getter, I know it seems just like a fun play on words, but I've seen so many people out there kind of striving and just wanting to do something a little bit more, and then we never reach it, right? I've been there, and I've actually this year alone have heard lots of people say to me that they didn't want to actually set any New Year's resolutions or goals because they just don't really believe in it anymore, right? And again, I get it. I spent years kind of striving to be better, accomplish more, and just grind it out till I got there. And ultimately, I never got there, right? I got discouraged too. I was almost in that camp of I just don't believe in it anymore. But I was fortunate that I was taught the difference between a goal setter and a goal getter. And so for this helping of the secret sauce, I want to share that secret with you. I want to give you the main differences. And then if you're ready for more of the nuanced strategies, certainly reach out to me at consultaaron.com. But first, let me start with this. And you guys have probably heard of this because I do like to talk about it a bit. But have you heard of Quitter's Day? The fitness app Strava is determined from their data that Quitter's Day has kind of been labeled the day that most people give up on their New Year's resolutions. And I know I've shared this before, but still, just thinking about it just blows my mind that Quitter's Day, when most people give up on our New Year's resolutions, is 2 weeks into the new year, right? We're basically on it for those 2 weeks, right? So if you're somebody that has a regular gym habit, these first 2 weeks of January have been heck because there's all these new people in the way. It's super crowded. Next week, it will start getting less crowded. In fact, it'll probably come back to normal pretty darn quick because those folks that are the new people that just showed up, they just kind of are expecting to get there on willpower and kind of this hollow wish to get in better shape, right? So being a goal getter is what makes the difference, right? We have to make that habit that I just mentioned. And so there's four main differences. The four main differences from my vantage point that I've learned is a goal setter first is very vague in their desire, right? They say things like, I want to lose some weight, or in a business context, they might say, I want to increase my revenue. Very, very vague ideas, very, very worthy ideas, but very vague. So for example, in the business concept there, I want to increase my revenue. If I hand you an extra dollar that you would have not otherwise received, you just increased your revenue, right? At that point, your subconscious brain goes, see, that slight increase, we're good. I'm done. I'm going to go back to stasis, and it's going to stop providing you with the motivation that you need to keep going, right? To keep increasing your revenue. A goal getter with a G on the other side, they instead are exceptionally precise with their defined goal, right? So they say things like, I will increase my revenue to earn $1 million or more by December 21st, 2024 at 6:13 p.m. center of the universe time. Right. See that level of precision, now your subconscious and that internal motivation that you get from it, right? It doesn't stop until you've achieved that objective. That objective that you specifically stated. So that's number one. Number two, goal setter, has many, many, many goals, right? I'm going to do this. I also need to do that. And then I'm going to do something else that makes me look important. And then I need to do this for my family. And then I've got this goal for my community, and I'm going to do this other thing for me, and so on and so on and so on, right? You get it. We've all been there, right? Again, I understand we are driven people who want to do something. We want to leave a mark. We want to support our families. We want to make a difference, right? So we have all these goals that we want, we think are goals that we want, but we think the only way to do those things, to leave a mark, to support our families, is to tackle everything all at once, right? We want this instant gratification, so we're going to do it all. But a goal getter on the other side, they realize the opposite of that is actually true. The only way to leave a mark, support our families, make a difference, all those things, is to focus on one thing at a time. And they start from the inside out, and they make the most important thing the most important thing. And then once that ball begins to roll and has some momentum, then you can also work on the other things. But a lot of times it's all about getting the momentum going, right? The saying Rome was not built in a day, it really applies here, because that lack of focus on what is most important to accomplish from that place, it will be very hard to accomplish anything because you got too many balls up in the air, right? And so Rome wasn't built in a day, meaning persistent along the way, persistence, keep going, right? And so we got to get very focused so we can have that persistence. All right, third difference, we're almost through it here. Goal setter will focus entirely on the end result, right? So back to the health goal, I need to lose 20 pounds, right? And then we have that as our goal. And then day one, I didn't lose 20 pounds. And we start, because we're focused solely on that end result, our internal voice starts telling us how much of a failure we are, right? Or that I will increase my revenue. On day one, the money's not rolling in because of one little action that you tried. Therefore, might as well get up, right? That's what's going on inside of us. A goal is actually meant to be a magnet, not the focus of the process. So a goal getter, they know that they have to break down their goal into as many small actionable steps as possible and focus on those small steps. And only, you'll hear the sports stars say, oh, I love the process, the journey, all that stuff. Well, that's true, right? See, the actions actually unlock clues to the next action. So with a revenue goal, that first action might not have anything to do with making more sales. Maybe first you need to find an organization to support or a networking group to join, or just plain and simple asking somebody for help, right? That could be the first step in your process. But if you're only focused on the end goal, you'll never make that first step. And then the final difference is goal setters tend to keep their goals hidden, right? Our goals are super secret. There's no, we're not going to tell anybody about it. And typically that's because of fear. And that fear drives us to hide those goals. And maybe they're afraid that if they share their goals, people might ridicule them, think it's too big, or maybe it's too small, or whatever label that your internal critic is going to put into that, right? Or maybe the fear is that you tell somebody and you share that goal and somebody else is going to steal your good idea. We talked about that earlier in the show. Those are all just excuses from keeping you from reaching your goal, right? But a goal getter, they share their goals with others. They understand success is a team sport. Yeah, I mean, my book here is a great example of this. It's a goal I achieved, and I'm proud of achieving that goal, but I'm not proud internally. I'm proud because so many people were willing to support me. And that meant the world to me, right? There were plenty of times that the internal voice was telling me to quit, just saying, why you? What gives you the right? But I knew that I had made a commitment to people that I care about, the OSG community, the regulators here, and I had to push forward with that. So the resources also show up when you share your goal too, right? So back to the book. As I mentioned, the artwork for this thing is from Dane Clement. I told Dane what my goal was. I told him where I was struggling, and he said, hey, let me help you with that, right? And there we go. Now, I'm proud of that, right? I'm super proud to have a great friend that is got his artwork featured on the cover of my book, right? That would have never happened if I kept my goals a secret. So I'm going to close this up with this. What is your number one goal for 2024? Share it. Share it out loud, right? Share it in the comments, whatever that is, share it. If you need help becoming a goal getter, do not hesitate to reach out. And I hope that each and every one of you become a goal getter this year. And then you are sharing the same passion I have for setting and achieving goals. So here's a little bit of napkin for you. We got a little secret sauce on your chin there, but I hope you enjoyed this serving of the secret sauce as much as I enjoyed delivering it.